Heather, I see Heather. I see Carrie. I don't know if my audio's working.
Oh, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I was on mute.
Well, I had a Zoom. I'm zoomed out. I had a Zoom Blue Slipper meeting yesterday, and it kept freezing.
Did you
Didn't
see
work.
that one where the guy turned himself into a cat with the lawyers? I'm like, I want to be a cat. I'm not a cat. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I heard that his grandkid had been playing with his computer and put the cat thing on there, talking to his friends, and then he couldn't figure out how to get it off.
I liked how the eyes moved and the mouth moved, and oh
yeah,
man,
totally. It did everything. It was hilarious.
I'm not a cat.
No.
Well, I'm just gonna have to go with it. And they're like,
And then the next day there was somebody that spit it out, Donna. Was upside down, couldn't figure out how to get himself righted.
I still laugh at the stupid the Progressive one where they're all on, the Flow, the Progressive insurance, when they're all on the Zoom and it's up her nose. She's like, can you hear me? I laugh every time it comes on. It's been on for like 8 months. Yeah, Faith just texted me, sent me, are you going to Zoom? I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, literally last night I looked at John and said, don't let me forget. I have Sister City tomorrow night. I've forgotten like 2 meetings. I forgot.
Don't let me forget. Oh, I figured you were just late getting home.
Well, I am late getting in tonight. I just got home like 10 minutes ago, but usually, I am running a little later than usual. And I just come home and plop down and never look at my phone for another hour or two and just space it.
I already talked to Bev. I almost went to Ash Wednesday service and said, you run with it. But here I am.
Oh. Well, don't you go to a Lutheran church? Wait, what?
There is no, Episcopal.
Episcopal. They do that too?
Catholic Light. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Catholic Light. Okay, I didn't know that.
What is that phrase they say, Bev? All the ceremony, none of the guilt.
Better food.
Bev's nodding her head. She's still on mute. You're on mute, dear. You have to unmute yourself.
Am I on?
Whoa. You were.
Am I on?
You're on. Yeah.
Everybody's frozen.
Oh, really?
Everybody's frozen.
Oh no.
Like,
but can you hear us?
With a stupid look on my face?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, it goes in and it fits
I
in
can
and
see
out.
you, Beth.
Heather, are you frozen? No, she's moving. Well, let's get this show on the road, because even if I don't, I'm trying to figure out. Oh, there they are. Nope, close that. Oh, my computer is slow. There they are. So, did anybody read the minutes from the previous month? Have any comments?
I didn't.
Aside from the fact that you weren't here. Yeah, let me look and see if there's anything that has follow-up that I didn't add to this one. Carrie, you're still vice president. You weren't here to decline. Sorry.
I figured that happened.
So the boxes at the bottom were things for me to do. Set up Venmo, which I did. I talked to the fairgrounds. It's totally available. The golf course said, well, yeah, it's open because they don't do tournaments till after Memorial Day. And we need a new website, of which I sent a message to a friend that has JTech and totally freaked me out because when I clicked on their website, it said starting price for a website. I suspect they're more to do websites for businesses. And it was like starting price 5,000. It's like, oh no, not going there. Sorry.
Unless we're gonna, we're not a front for child trafficking or anything, right? So,
No. And then, I was talking to Caitlin. She set up her own website, which she keeps paying for, even though she hasn't updated it. Because there's a lot of Caitlin Paces out there, and hers is CaitlinPace.com. So she keeps paying for it to keep it. Our previous website, Livingston Sister Cities, plural, because it had information on both of us, doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't open. It says you can get in there if you know your username and password, but that's part of the problem. So, finance report, if you want to look at it, the only thing was our annual rent to Starlo and our annual PO box rent. I've also paid, but put it on the credit card so that bill hasn't come in, our business renewal thing with the state. So that's taken care of. We're legal. The other thing I have to do, and I should add that to it, I should download this so I can add to it. We need to do the 1099E, I think, or EN, which is a tax name that we file that says we didn't make more than $50,000. So basically we file our taxes, but we don't have enough income to have to pay taxes, but we still have to send that in electronically to tell the government we don't owe anything. So Bev and I talked about, do we need Zoom account? Once before, we canceled because the city had us double booked. But in talking to Bev, and Bev can throw in, we thought, we can just do the free one if we need to. The only problem is like the 5 of us that are in on this meeting, if we run over 40 minutes, it shuts us down, and then somebody goes and opens up another meeting and we all join back in and you got another 40 minutes. So does anybody think we should buy a basic Zoom account? And Faith, you may have to answer this for me. If somebody opens a Zoom account, is it that one person that always has to open it up?
Unless you share your login credentials with somebody else.
Well, that's
But
easy.
we shouldn't have any more issues with overlap because we purchased a second account for the boards and committees.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So we're not going to buy a Zoom account. Pull that up later. If you guys read the that little paragraph I had, one of the board meetings said, yes, we should buy tickets. Well, I priced tickets with Soretta. I had already looked at prices online. They were pretty much the same. And I haven't bought tickets because I am not sure that we're going to have an exchange based on what I've been reading. They currently are locked to all nationals, to all but nationals till March 7th. That may be extended. And from what the site, and I can't remember what website it was, but it said that Japan is undecided when regular tourists will again be able to enter the country, and it may not happen till after the Olympics. I'm thinking that Japan, Tokyo, is still set on holding the Olympics because the IOC is pressuring them to not cancel it again.
And I thought I saw something, a quote from, I don't know, the president of Japan. I don't, whatever they're, was like, no, we intend to hold the Olympics. And I think he's pushing to, keep it on the foreground because they would lose billions and billions of dollars. Oh my
Right.
gosh.
The government
And so
of
I-
Japan and IOC want to have it. I think the general public is afraid of it because they haven't really been hit bad with COVID yet, but time will tell. So anybody else want to throw in on whether we should book
say go for it.
tickets? You
Well,
still
John
say
wants to
go
know
for
if we're
it?
going in September, so we're holding out. Yeah,
September, I think
for the
we
adult
really,
exchange.
we put the adult exchange really on the back burner.
I
If you want to organize it, go for it and see what happens.
I was like, well, it would help if I showed up for a couple meetings and quit forgetting to find out what's going. I figured it was on the back burner, but we talk about, coming up this summer and stuff after everything that's been canceled. And he still is, our friends of ours were talking about going to Hawaii and he's like, well, I don't know. Are we going to go to Japan? He puts Japan before Hawaii. So if
Wow.
it's still out there, we're still in. And I'm going to be 50, so it could be for my birthday.
Nice birthday present.
Yeah, I think so. Go mooch off. No, I'm just kidding.
Heather, what do you think? Do you think the exchange is going to happen this summer?
I do.
I
I
just,
think the fact that they reached out like they did and said, we're still kind of planning on it. I'm like, that's pretty good. That they're still really keeping that connection and stuff. I thought it was a good sign.
I don't know what to think, to be honest, because I suppose it could go either way. I mean, I don't know what is going on with, the timing of vaccines and all of that in Japan, but
Oh,
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm leaning towards, it's probably not going to happen because
I lean toward it, Will.
you do. You're-
Yeah, I did.
I mean,
I just want to. Yeah.
I know.
Well, there's a difference between
Yeah.
wishful thinking. Japan hasn't been vaccinating like other countries have.
Mm. Yeah. And so, I mean, the thing is, I was thinking they could have any number of requirements for, foreign travelers if they accept people, tourism,
Mhm.
tourists. And they could require that you have a test and or quarantine and or have the vaccine and all those things. I mean, they're an island nation, so I feel like, like Australia, like they're just erring on the side of caution, which is really smart. And so honestly, like, I don't know.
Even New Zealand lets people come in, but anybody flying into New Zealand has a 2-week quarantine.
Well,
The
yeah.
same thing in Japan right now. If
Mhm.
you're a national, you can get back in the country, but you have a 2-week quarantine.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, where I'm
Well-
on it's moving through. It's kind of virus. It's not going away. And, with the options for vaccination and everything else like that, and or you're going to get it. And now even now, as we finally have moved into in the last couple months, that anybody that's had COVID in the last 90 days doesn't have to be tested. I'm like, they're just, going to have to move away from that at some point here. And acknowledge that you're going to get something from, more people have it than not and whatnot. So, but, and isolating and locking yourself away isn't going to happen. Charlie's in lockdown on a campus in New Mexico, and guess who has COVID?
Charlie?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, he's not terribly sick in by any way or whatever, but I'm like, it just takes one. Masking, lockdown, don't go anywhere, haven't been anywhere except to his room and to the classes and to the cafeteria to grab food. That's it.
Somebody brought it in.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's gonna do what it's gonna do. I was like, well, at least it takes you out for the next 3 months. You don't have to worry about, if they have another outbreak or whatever, you get to stay and not have to do all this stuff again. He's been locked in his room going on. Tomorrow's his
Well,
10
I
days.
can check with Soretta again. I suspect the prices are still similar. I mean, I checked
Yeah, they were
before
kind of icky.
Pardon?
Yeah, they weren't. What did you see them for? You said
$12.79. I think it's in there. $12.49.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Well, and if anything, we would lose our, if we don't get a refund, which happened last year because they changed our itinerary, we could request a refund. If we don't get a refund, that means it's a cancellation. The same people need to fly when we book again, and we get basically not a refund, but credit for the tickets, but a change in ticket price. If there's a change in ticket price, either we get a refund or we owe more. So basically they hold it like a deposit, but we do
Well,
lose
they
that
won't give you a
$75.
Okay.
Pardon?
They won't give you a refund. Like if you end up rebooking and the flight is cheaper, they will not give you that refund. But if there's a fare difference and it's more expensive, then we have to pay that.
The credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they give you a credit, right? Well, speaking
Right.
of that, that's a good idea when you say everybody that if you buy the ticket has to travel. Maybe we should take a head count and see if, we've had any people that are like, if we can go in August or July, whatever it is, we end up going, are you in? And take a head count.
Well,
yeah.
I think they're all in for this summer.
You think so?
But what if it's canceled this summer? Would they still be a go for the following summer?
Probably not.
That's the deal. And if not, then we would have to pay for the change of ticket.
Oh, yeah.
How much
To change it to different names.
I've no idea.
Okay.
Sometimes it's $150.
Per person, $150 per person for canceling or whatever.
If you change a name, I believe so.
When do you usually purchase tickets?
We've purchased them
Right about now.
as late as April, I think.
Okay.
Does that sound right, Bev? There's times when we watch the price, and as soon as it dips, we commit and buy the tickets.
Yeah.
I don't know the earliest. I'd have to look at finance reports and see when it was debited.
Well, you said that the price looks like it's pretty much.
It has not changed since I started looking in early January.
Okay. I mean, maybe we should just wait then, wait another month. I mean, see if
Yeah.
the ticket prices change and see if anything else develops.
True.
And I could poll people and say, assuming we're going this summer, is everybody a go for this summer? the
Mm.
current exchange. If for some reason it was canceled this summer and postponed to the following summer, are you still with us?
Hmm.
And if
I
I
think we
got any
should.
wavering, that would be, not a good sign to book that person. I mean, but we want to book as a group. Yeah. So, well, I will keep looking. If prices go down or if we hear anything else that Japan is open to tourists coming in, and check with Naomi to see if they know anything more. And then we can stay in touch by email.
And we're not affected because of, the flights and way, like my friend said, Delta is still like, she flew on them and they're still like every other row has a person in it. And then you're the only person in that row, so to speak, and then across the aisle is the other person. I mean, there's still like skipping rows.
Right,
And
which
still
amazed me
quarter,
that there
half
were,
full. Yeah, and I'm like, that
Yeah.
a group of us getting tickets
yep.
will mess things up too.
Can we not just buy a block of tickets without names?
No, not if there's only 9. You can do that if there's 10.
I'll go. Just kidding. Oh, Rachel said she'll go. Who does she look like? Let's think.
The,
Who's traveling?
so
Yeah, she looks
the
like
the
Thea.
deal
She could
is,
pass for-
if you book a group, you're buying seats and there's certain timelines you have to meet. Like when the final payment is due, I mean, you pay part, but then there's a final payment due and there's a certain date that you have to have all the names applied to the seats. And that's got to be 10 or more.
Mhm.
or more.
So that's the scoop.
Yeah, I think we should poll and just like, how committed still everyone is.
Yep.
The kids might be, but I don't, some parents might not be. I'm like, God, apparently people are still wishy-washy about them going back to school full time.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but they're finally gonna go.
Moving on. So there's 2 other things. I mean, we can talk about these till we're blue in the face, but as far as family meetings, my opinion is that we're still on standby. I hesitate. Trying to figure out who was available where. They were all over the place.
Mhm.
Wednesday after school was the best time for students and David. David preferred early on a weekend. Weekend wasn't going to work for a bunch of kids, and I can see that. Because of skiing, we're in ski season. So between sports when it's not snow on the ground and skiing when there is snow on the ground. And I think the kids are just saturated with online lessons. I don't think that, the idea of them getting scheduled in the Zoom meeting is like, roll your eyes till you've got a headache. And I'm kind of the same way with fundraisers. Venmo's set up, the fairgrounds is available, the golf course is available, but I don't feel like we're in any position to start putting a lot of energy into any of the fundraisers because there's so much still in limbo. So, discussion or not, opinions?
I just feel like everything's up in the air, like I'm like kind of afraid to do anything.
Yeah, that's why I'm hesitant to pull the trigger on anything. I'd rather just stand by like it was 6 months ago, stand by and see what happens.
Yeah. Mhm.
Definitely wouldn't hurt us to be on standby. It's not a big deal. It's just, gosh, I mean, when you think a lot of time's gone by, and it's just,
Hmm.
Yeah, that's all. It's been a long time and you just want to see that end. But if we're waiting for COVID to go away, it's not going to happen. Or we're waiting for it to,
Well, just
Yeah,
things to open up,
yeah,
which
yeah, just for
eventually
things to
it
open
will
up. I'm like,
happen.
where's your
once-
line? Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're not getting it. Or when you think you're getting it, then they come out the next day with something else to scare you back in the house, I swear. So, but, I mean, we're getting there. We're doing well. So. I mean, you haven't had a cold though, Donna. I'm like, that's really great. You're usually coughing and hacking
No.
a lung up at this time of the year. So just saying.
Well, I have been taking my allergy pills and I take those little red pills because I still get phlegmy. I think it's just bad sinuses and dry weather. It's just, 'tis the season.
Mhm.
Plus we've got a wood stove, so there's a little extra particulate in the air.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, stand by. Next meeting, March 17th. Do we have anything else to go over, guys? Bev? No?
I don't think so.
Well, let's call it a night. And I'll keep you, I will send out an email polling what would be the 2020 travel group to see their enthusiasm for this summer if this summer is canceled, next summer. And tell them we need to
Okay.
know in case we book tickets and have to cancel.
Hey,
We need to
Faith
know
just
the
texted me
commitment.
that she can't, her speaker isn't working. So she's going to log off and log back in again. So
Okay.
FYI, so she'll log back in here in just a minute.
Okay,
I think she's trying to say, I don't know what she's trying to tell you, but she's trying to talk at us.
okay. Do we have a
But she's
chat?
been muted.
She says she can't unmute.
Yeah, she says, she's like, I'm talking, but nobody can hear me again. So she just texted me.
Wow.
So she's gonna log out and put you as the host or something. But she should get back on. Here she goes. And hopefully she'll try and get back on again here in a sec.
Oh, and Richard's here. Has he been here the whole time and I didn't see him?
I think that was him coughing, wasn't it, Richard?
Yep.
It sounded like him.
Yeah. See, I wasn't on gallery view to see everybody because I was trying to look at the agenda at the same time. I didn't print it. So when Faith comes back in, we'll listen to what she has to say. Bev, did you get flowers for Valentine's Day? Bev,
What?
did you get flowers? I see roses behind
Yeah.
you. How sweet.
Yep, I have roses.
Faith is back in,
Okay,
but she's still muted.
but she's still muted.
Huh. Well, we lost her video.
So weird because Faith runs that Zoom all the time.
You guys don't need to see me.
Oh, there she
You look like a
Is-
flag, Faith.
Yeah, that's the
You're
city
looking very
logo.
stripey.
It's the city's logo, so. right there.
Okay. Well, what do you have to say? We were kind of on hold, ready to sign off. But did you have something that you were trying to say? Opinion? What do you think we should do? Where are we at?
No, I just, I share everybody's concern, whether or not the exchange is going to happen this year. And feel like maybe we should just wait to buy tickets. We still got a little bit of time.
And we have
before-
quite the window.
before we go. So,
Yeah, school hasn't even started for the new term when they select kids to come to
No.
us in Japan. So even though they say that they're working towards an exchange, we've got 2 years worth of kids chosen, and they didn't do didn't do a selection last year, and they haven't even started a selection this year because school hasn't. That school term starts at the 1st of, when does it start, Bev? 1st of April? I don't know.
April,
Anyway,
I
Yeah,
think.
April something. Yeah.
yeah. So there's still a ways out. So, okay, on hold.
Oh, FYI,
Oh.
if anybody has Netflix, a really interesting show, you got to read subtitles. It's called Tokyo Girl.
Oh, cool.
Kind of follows this young girl when she's in high school. It starts out with her sitting in her little uniform with her skirt and everything at her high school, talking to her mentor about what she wants to do with her future. And she lives in this, oh gosh, now I can't remember the name of the town. A really small rural town. And she's like, I want to go to Tokyo and be famous and live like a Tokyo girl, like in the magazines. And so she goes to college and everything in her town, and then goes and gets a job in Tokyo, and it follows her over the next, until she's like 40.
Interesting.
And
Oh,
it's
wow.
like a series, and it's super interesting about like a really interesting take on, the scenery is amazing, and all the places stuff you see, you're like, oh my God, that looks like where we were. But it's really interesting, a take on women and success, and then fighting the tradition of what, a Japanese woman is versus one that wants to be successful, have a job, get married, and, or not get married, or
What?
it's really interesting. It's really good.
So
turned
there's
it off?
also Queer Eye Tokyo.
Oh, that was good too. That was fun.
You see those?
See,
There's a number
Yeah.
of them. Really good. And it deals with all kinds of cultural issues. And I thought they were fantastic. But I'm
I
gonna
would-
look at Tokyo Girl. That sounds awesome.
So what
Oh,
were you
yeah.
saying? I had to listen to Jeff. He has to go back to Vince Grant Hall. Pat, what's Pat's last name? Patricia
Graybo?
Graybow's. Yeah, Patricia Graybow's son was filming in Vince Grant, so they turned off the heaters so they didn't make noise while they were filming. And forgot to turn them
Sure.
back on. So Jeff has to go put heat in the building.
Oh my heavens.
Yeah. So what were you saying, Heather, that you were watching?
Oh, just Queer Eye has
Oh.
like a short, I don't know, I can't remember how many episodes, but
I think 3
Queer
or
Eye
4.
Tokyo,
That was interesting.
they were really good. Dealing with it's so interesting because they are dealing with people who have, it's not just gay people, but have sort of things going. It just deals with Japanese culture and Japanese norms and sort of how these people are contending with those. And it's
So
really good.
traditional. Yeah. And
So-
Yeah, like
but
insight into this super traditional culture and worth
I
watching.
suspect if we encourage families to watch Tokyo Girl, we'd be okay. But how many parents would scream at us if we said watch Queer Eye Tokyo?
oh,
Oh,
that show's awesome, man. Have you ever? Oh, it's
They're
awesome.
doing two
I know.
They're
episodes
so
there,
positive.
But you guys are all frozen. Shoot.
Too many people talking at once.
They are so positive and inspirational. I love it.
Yes. Yeah. It's not about being. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
isn't. You know what?
It's
And
not.
who cares?
It's just
Come
so
on. Like,
awesome.
Come on,
They do such a good
rednecks.
job. They're fun, but no, Tokyo Girl's really super interesting.
I would be game for it. I just wonder if we'd get any back talk.
who cares?
If they don't want to watch
Honestly?
it, they don't have to watch it.
They don't have to
I
watch
don't
it.
have to
It's a
watch
free-
it.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I think it would be cool to actually send out some sort of a, I don't know, like communicate to get the kids to watch something. I don't know if the kids would really enjoy Queer Eye but get the kids to watch something to keep them psyched.
Yeah. Anything.
Gosh, I don't,
Yeah. Anything that
Yeah, that
exposes
Tokyo Girl
them
really
to culture.
culture kind of stuff and everything, and how when she goes back home after 10 years, back to her little tiny town, and God, I can't remember the name of it. I mean, and she's like, why did you leave Tokyo to be a housewife? And then she's like, I wanted to go build my future. And now here I am, a successful businesswoman, but I'm not married. I don't have any children. And then she gets desperate and goes to like a matchmaker and everything, and ends up marrying a guy. And it's just
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
no, it's good. It's a whole series. So I mean,
Oh, okay.
and I didn't learn any Japanese. I still don't know anything. And
Dakimasu.
yeah. Arigato gozaimasu. And how they date as single women and stuff. They like do these group dates, and then they sit down with like 6 businessmen, and it's just who attracts what they're attracted to, and the way and at work, how they're treated at work. And it's really interesting. Women just trying to break through in Japan to this independent woman with all this cultural norms of, tradition.
Oh,
Really
I'll
interesting. It's
check
good.
it out.
And then just all the scenery itself is just amazing.
I don't want to get all psyched and then we can't go again.
Dawn and I've been watching an anime called My Love Story. You have to read all of the, subtitles and everything, but it's hysterical. We've been laughing so hard.
It's Japanese.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Young freshmen fall in love, But we'll have to check out Tokyo Girl.
Okay, guys. Shall we sign off?
Good to see.
Yes, the series done. Okay, you guys, have a good night.
Okay.
Everybody
Okay.
have a good night. Stay safe.
You too. Bye-bye.
Night.
Bye, guys.
Okay, you too.